Trucking with Hunter back here. Something that came up I was thinking about after I did the whole lease thing the other day. I was inspected, got a clean inspection. There were no violations by the DOT in Tennessee. And something that was kind of brought to my attention that I now I'm going to pay closer attention to. He looked at my logs and started questioning me about personal conveyance. I know, talking to different drivers that I've talked to, there's been a lot of everybody has a different idea of personal conveyance, and I believe a lot of people, a lot of drivers have been using personal conveyance, also known as PC, incorrectly, or to do things that could possibly cause them a violation. I was interrogated very intently about how I used the PC on my logs, and he accepted my explanations. He didn't want to. I am kind of surprised that he did accept it, especially in one of the cases where I was he probably could have violated me if he had wanted to. I encourage you as drivers, if you go, you can look it up on Google. You can find the FMCSA and the personal conveyance. They do a thing, and it kind of gives you an idea of what examples are of personal conveyance, what's appropriate and what's not appropriate or should not be used as personal conveyance. That will really help clarify what's going on. As far as what you should be using PC for, and what is that. So we'll go over what they put in here, what's appropriate. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time reviewing it. Obviously, I kind of pretty much think most of you can read for yourselves, but we'll just go over it. Things that you can use PC for, obviously. Time spent, you can use PC if you're lodging at a motel, or you're at a truck stop and you want to go to a restaurant or entertainment or whatever. You can use PC to do that. To commute from home to a terminal. So from the driver's terminal and or his residence, between trailer drop lots and the driver's residence, so between work and home. Let's see here. If, or let's say you get held up at a ship or a receiver, and you can use PC to be able to get you to a safe location after you get done, to get you to a truck stop or other safe place to park if the ship or receiver will not let you park safely on premises. If you need to move your vehicle, your truck, at the request of a safety official while you're off duty time, while you're sleeping. Any time spent traveling in a bus doesn't count as well. I think that probably is less relative. Time spent transporting personal property while off duty. Obviously, if you're using your truck to help move yourself, that's considered off duty. You can use PC for that. And then, of course, if you're authorized to use your vehicle to travel home after work or from an off-site location. But let's see, what was the biggest thing here? Okay, this is the biggest thing. The commercial motor vehicle may be used for personal conveyance even if it is loaded. since the load is not being transported for the commercial benefit of the carrier at that time. To me, this statement right here is the biggest one that I think applies in how we can um, differentiate what should personal conveyance be used for and what shouldn't be. If you're loaded, if you are doing something to make money, if you are making money, if you're moving that vehicle, if the movement of that vehicle is going to make you money, then PC should not be used. Okay? So if you're under a load and you want to go to a restaurant from a truck stop, that's fine. That's not a problem. You can do that. If you know, just keep that in mind. As long as it does not pertain to the load. Now, using PC to deadhead to a shipper is not an appropriate use of that. You are making money at that point. You really, in that case, you're furthering the load. The example that was given, and one that I had, two things that I had to explain away. The first was, I think, rightful. I had gotten to my my shipper Friday night, and I was almost out of time. My shipper had told me that my load was not ready. There was a Love's truck stop a little over 2 miles up the street. So they said, well, go ahead and drop your empty, and they said you can come back and get your load after your 10-hour break. I said, okay. So I went, I dropped my empty, and then I bobtailed to the Love's under PC. At that point, I'd already made it to the shipper. So at that point, that became my workplace. And so in the morning, I PC'd back and started my pre-trip when I was hooked to my new trailer. So I could do a pre-trip of both the truck and the trailer together, as opposed to doing one separately on each vehicle. That's what I chose to do. That's what I was questioned about. Again, my PC did not further the load. I didn't move the load. The Love's actually wasn't anywhere in the direction that the load needed to go. It was actually in the opposite direction. So even if I was loaded and I was going there to eat, I was going there to rest, didn't really matter. It wasn't even in route. It was actually out of route by 2 miles. So that was one where, I was able to explain that one away. Something else I think some of us use personal conveyance for that is definitely questionable is, let's say you're with a big carrier, you're able to do drop and hooks, and you get to your shipping facility, you drop your loaded trailer, and some of these facilities, as you well know, are very large. They cover quite a few acres of land, and you have to bobtail around for 20-30 minutes looking for an empty. Some of them aren't that bad. They keep all the empties in one spot, makes it a little bit easier. You just go to that spot. If there's an empty there, they have it. If it's not there, there's no empties. Place I went to, empties they're usually in one spot, but they could be anywhere. So it's bobtailing around, going around, making sure that there is no empties anywhere on the property. Well, I used PC for that because I didn't want to take it off my 70 at the time, for just trying to go find an empty, spending a whole bunch of time just looking for an empty. And that's the one where I said that probably is not an appropriate use of PC that he could have gotten me for, and should have been more under the scope of on-duty yard move, not PC. He didn't violate me for it, but just keep in mind that, if you're using PC, and it literally happened the day after I'd done it, I got inspected and they asked to see my logs, and he wanted to question me about that. Know the rules, know what the FMCSA does. I think knowing what it says helped me. He knew that I had read it. So help yourself out, read it, and make sure that you can explain away why you did something to a DOT officer that makes sense and is logical. Because if you can't, you're liable to get violated for it. And even if you can explain it away in court, or you can get a lawyer to explain it away in court, it's extra cost, time, and certainly concern on your part that just isn't needed. So that's all I really have for you today. I just wanted to kind of bring that up so that we were all on that same page, and know that, hey, these inspections are real. I haven't been inspected where I'd used something or did something that was of questionable nature, and then I did get inspected, and it made me realize that, hey, know what the law says, know what you're doing, and make sure that if you do something, you can explain it away. That way you can avoid that hassle and the time-consuming nature of getting a violation, having to fight it, and make your life a little bit easier once you get done with the inspection. I hope you all have a great day. If you like any of my videos, hit that like button. If you want to subscribe. And as always, I hope you have a good day, and hope to see you on the road.